like we had a contract with our publisher, right? And our freelancers have contract with us. And those things have to be sorted out, because then you don't get this ambiguity over like who owns what, and especially if you're getting paid, like where's the value in that chain? If you're not getting paid, then you're selling your time and your ideas for something, right? So if you're not getting paid, you probably want to retain some of those ideas and that work, so that you could use it for other things, or you have a percentage of the takings, or some sort of royalty or something. But if you're getting paid, then maybe the payment is in exchange for those ideas, if you see what I mean. So if you're freelancing or if you're making a company, you need to be really concrete, like who owns what, what's the value alignment in this agreement, so that even if I do something else, there's like horrible things I've heard about employees making their own games, and then the company's calling them up on it and going like, well, in your contract it says like we own everything you do because you're in contract with us, so that game you've made is also our game now, and stuff like that. If you're a director of a company, or if you're a freelancer and stuff like that, like work with a lawyer or work with people who have good contracts, and maybe rip and change those, and maybe put it through a lawyer just to double check. But make sure you read through that stuff. It's really boring, but it is so important to your livelihood that you read and you understand who owns what in that value chain. And it's been really pertinent recently, because the publishing relationship has really broken down with our publisher because of the financial issues they've had. And it saved us on some things because they were in the contract, right? Like some things we owned, some things we didn't own, and we were owed some money because it was all black and white in the contract. If it wasn't there and we hadn't agreed to it originally, it would have been much worse for us. And you're right, like we have contractor agreements with anyone who works with us, and it's really black and white, like who's paying for what, like what money we're going to give you, what ideas, who owns what ideas, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But basically, if we pay you in these agreements, we own your stuff, and that's why we're paying you, basically. So we can pay you, like for example, our musician, an audio guy, comes to our workshops and we pay him a day, and he's there not to make music, he's there to have ideas and to make the game better, essentially, you know what I mean? So it comes in all shapes and forms. But he's paid and he goes away, and in that contractual agreement we actually have with them, we actually have a royalty agreement on their music if it's sold outside of the game. So we're also operating as a publisher for that musician as well. It's slightly different for music when it is just coda, for example. But for a coda, you might have an agreement that says, the work you produce is ours, but we also give you license to use it elsewhere. Because, if you write this really great thing for a game which, makes destructible walls and stuff like that, it's really awesome, and you want to use it for your next project, but you can't because they own it. That's kind of a bind, isn't it? It's really important, basically.